article yesterday, the story, how the story started, what it was, what it is all about. For 2 days, one day I have given you the introduction and we have already started with the content. Now today I am going to move forward with the text part of this story. Now till now we have understood the three main characters in the story, that is Ozable, Fowler, and the other one is Max, right? I told you Fowler was a young romantic writer. He came to meet a secret agent. Possible in his office, actually he had come to gather necessary material for his book on secret agents. Basically, Possible is in his office. His office, I told you, is always on the 6th floor of an apartment, and Fowler had come to meet him. Fowler himself is a writer and he wants some material, necessary material for his book on secret agents. He's writing a book on secret agents, so that was the reason why he was in the house to meet him. Why was he visited his office, not his house, his office, to meet him. Now, like all people, Fowler had also formed quite a romantic picture of the secret agent. I told you the kind, what we expect, the kind of dress up they have, the way these secret agents or spies or detectives, they carry themselves. They generally were people with very fit physique they have, they're tall, they're, that daring look they carry. So that kind of image even Fowler was expecting, but he was disheartened because Ozable was not that kind of a person. Ozable didn't look like that kind of a person. Ozable, I told you, was a fat man and didn't fit that description at all of a secret agent. He was a very fat person, and his office was in a small room. He was a sloppy fat man, and he had an American accent. American accent he had. Ozable himself felt that Fowler was disappointed after the meeting. Now, important paper in Ozable's custody that we discussed the other day also. Ozable told Fowler that he had a very important paper in his custody. Someday that paper might well affect the course of history. Then Ozable switched on the light. So basically, Ozable had went downstairs to meet this man Fowler, right, who had visited his office, to pick him up. Now, both of them, they came to the 6th floor. On 6th floor was Ozable's office. The moment Ozable opens the door of his office, he is shocked because there is a man who is standing in the center of the room. This man is standing with a pistol in his hand. Now, this man is a tall, slender man with a good physique, really fit, and has that somewhat a threatening kind of a look. Now, so obviously the both of them, Ozable and Fowler, both of them were really shocked because they were not expecting that in a locked room they would find anybody inside the house. And moreover, this man was with a pistol in his hand. Now, I told you the other day, the papers which he was expecting were very confidential. What were they related to? Can please anybody tell me? Let me check how much you guys have learned.
The missile report.
Yes, it was a report related to missiles, right? But Ozable, while coming to his office on the way from the ground floor to the 6th floor to his office, he told Fowler that this confidential report related to missiles was very important because that was going to create history, right? It was top confidential thing, something related that may change the course of events. Yes, Akshay Jain is saying it could create history, right, Akshay? Okay, so now there was nothing menacing about Max except his pistol. Max demanded the important report concerning some new missiles that was in the custody of Ozable. Now Max demanded that report from Ozable, and Ozable told him that he was yet waiting for the report. The report had not arrived yet. Now Max, Ozable, and Fowler, the three of them were in the room. At that time, Ozable told Max that this balcony was a great nuisance that had created a lot of trouble because through this balcony it had happened twice this month itself, that people have entered into his office, right? There have been incidents reported when people have tried or they have entered into this building, into this apartment, into this floor, on this floor, through this balcony. And he further told him that actually this is not their balcony. This is the balcony of the apartment next by. The apartment which is just next to his apartment. It's a balcony of that apartment which is stretched to their apartment. Right? So it was a general conversation which Oswald told Max. Now suddenly there was a knock at the door. Yes, Tanish Mittal is writing extended balcony. Yes, it was an extended balcony, Tanish. So suddenly this there is a knock at the door. When there is a knock at the door, Oswald, obviously Max is scared because he is threatening Oswald to hand over those confidential papers, right? And he is threatening. He has a pistol in his hand. Now, at this time, Oswald informed Max, please everybody switch off your mics. I do not want any voice in between. Now, he was expecting, Oswald tells Max that this might be police because he told him, because the Max को यही बात बोली that before coming to the office, he had informed for police security as these papers were of vital importance. These papers were very confidential. So he had asked for police security and he asked that police should come beforehand to check that everything is okay. So this might be police. ये possible Max को inform करना है. Now obviously this is very scary for Max, right? He'll be caught by the cops. So now Max, who wants to hide himself so that he's not caught by the police. With his pistol pointing towards the two of them, Oswald or Fowler की तरफ वो pistol point out करते हुए, he immediately plans that he will hide himself in the balcony. So he jumps out of the window. Now when he jumps out of the window, Divyansh Jaiswal, please your mic is on. Please switch it off.
मैम मैं कह रहा हूँ अभी किसी और से डिस्टरबेंस आ रही थी.
बेटा आपकी भी आ रही थी और भी किसी की भी, ऋषभ की थी आई थिंक.
मैम मैंने तो आपको बताने के लिए माइक ऑन करा था.
अच्छा आपने मेरे को बताने के लिए किया है, उससे पहले ऋषभ की भी थी. ये आदित्य का अच्छा ये प्रॉब्लम वाले. अंशुल वर्मा, इसका क्यों भाई अब ये वीडियो ऑफ है? दक्ष अंशुल वर्मा, बेटा हटा दूं क्या बीच में से? दक्ष, guys, I've told you I'll be checking you in between. कुणाल, on off करते रहोगे आप? मानस नेगी, who is this Manas Negi? Mehak, अच्छा Mehak, I've got the message. Now because he wants to safeguard himself from the police, he jumped from the 6th floor because he was already pre-informed by Oswald that this balcony had created trouble, right? Now when he jumps out of the window into the balcony, there's a shrieking sound. Fowler is not knowing what's going on. And when there was a knock at the door, he opens the door and let the person enter in. The person who has entered in is not the police. Rather, he is the waiter who was ordered drinks by Oswald. Oswald के पास Fowler as a visitor उसको मिलने के लिए आया था, so he had ordered drinks for him. Right? Now, when he ordered him these drinks, so this waiter was there with drinks and glasses. Now, Fowler at that moment questions him that what will we do now? Because the man was waiting in the balcony. It was at that time that Oswald discloses to Fowler that the man was not in the balcony, rather he is not there because he is dead. There was no balcony in fact, and he has jumped from the 6th floor. Now, when a person jumps from the 6th floor, it is quite obvious. The person would not be able to survive. So the man, the Max, the culprit who had forcefully, the intruder who has forcefully entered into his office and was threatening him to hand over those confidential papers was no more. Right? That is what the story is about. Now, I would like to give you the main points of the story. I have done the entire story with you. the first point, main points were Fowler was, all those, if they have missed out any section, you can please go through the main points so that it is clear to you. First point was that Fowler was a young and romantic writer. He wanted to meet Ausable because he wanted to write a book on detectives. Right? Fowler wanted to meet Ausable because he wanted to write a book on detectives. Third was Ausable was a detective in Paris who was fat and floppy. The story is based in Paris. So Ausable was a detective based in Paris who was fat and floppy. Now, and hardly looked like a secret agent. When Ausable switched on the light, he found Max standing with a pistol in his hand in the room. Now, Max had come to take a particular important report concerning missiles forcibly from Ausable. Ausable cooked up a false story to entrap crafty Max. To entrap Max, he cooked up the story of a false balcony. There was no balcony actually. Next, he told Max that the balcony below his window had become a big trouble, had become a big nuisance. Now, it was second time in a month that he told Max that it was second time in a month that somebody got into his room through the balcony. He also made Max panicky by telling him that the knocking at the door was of the police, whom he had already informed. When Max became panicky, he came to the window and jumped out of it. Because he had no other way, he wanted to hide himself from the police. So he, in that hurry, as he was already pre-informed by him that there was a balcony and this balcony is a big trouble because he enter from this balcony. So in order to safeguard himself, he jumped out of it. Right? Now, when Max' a loud cry was heard, and in this way, Ausable got rid of his crafty enemy. Later on, it was found. Karthik, please switch off your mic. Okay. So, a loud cry was heard, and in this way, Ausable got rid of his crafty enemy. Later on, it was found that the knockings at the door were made by the waiter who entered the room with a bottle and 2 glasses, which was ordered by Ausable. Right? I think I'm clear with the concept. There is no doubt now. Now, guys, you have to go through the chapter, the content. I have uploaded today. It's yesterday itself. I have uploaded the assignment on your ERP of a triumph of surgery. A triumph of surgery assignment was not uploaded earlier. Now I have uploaded it. Aditya, dear, we are over with the content part, so you can stop recording now.